We are in early October. Climatologically, the Gulf and Atlantic coasts still retain warm oceanic reservoirs, and the continental interior is gradually cooling. The broad mid-latitude pattern currently features a mid-level trough across the southeastern U.S. and an eastern U.S. surface high or ridging wedging down the Atlantic seaboard. That ridge is imparting a pressure gradient that fosters persistent onshore flow along the southeast and Florida coasts. Meanwhile, remnants of tropical moisture from systems like Imelda are still influencing the moisture supply over the region. Thus, the setup is a moist, marginally unstable environment over Florida, under the influence of easterly to northeasterly flow, embedded weak disturbances aloft, and coastal convergence zones. And farther north in Georgia, a drier, more stable air mass held in place by upper level ridging and surface high pressure. Florida, especially east and central coasts, dynamics and forcing. In east central Florida, the key forcing is the onshore flow driven by the pressure gradient between the Atlantic Ridge and lower pressures to the west/south. That flow injects deep moisture, precipitable water values around 1.8 to 2.0 inches, into the coastal boundary layer, which enhances instability and convergence where sea breeze or coastal troughing develops. A weak, nearly stationary mid-level trough lies over the region, and a developing inverted, coastal, low-level trough also contributes low-level convergence. This multi-pronged forcing supports repeated showers and embedded storms. Model guidance suggests modest instability, mu Kappa near 1,000 joules per kilogram, which, while not extreme, is adequate when coupled with strong moisture and convergence to yield efficient rain rates and locally heavy downpours. Bands of showers may backbuild, i.e., regenerate upstream, along coastal convergence zones, especially over the Space Coast and Treasure Coast, and push inland toward Orlando and adjacent regions. Impacts. Rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches are expected in many areas, with localized amounts exceeding 4 inches in favored zones. Because this pattern persists over multiple days, localized flooding is a non-trivial concern. On the marine side, the tight NE to E pressure gradient over Atlantic waters is sustaining wind speeds of 15 to 25 knots in seas, wind plus swell of 7 to 12 FDT, with lingering elevated surf and life-threatening rip currents. Small craft advisories are in effect, and coastal erosion risk increases, especially near high tide. Aviation. Terminals along the Atlantic coast, e.g. MLB, VRB, should expect showers and periodic impacts to visibility or ceilings, with VCSH becoming more widespread inland by mid-morning, and Charre at Orlando after 15Z. The gusty northeast winds, gusts to 20 to 25 knots, may further complicate flight operations. Amendments to TAFS are likely throughout the day. Moisture and instability. Florida remains moisture-rich, PWATS approaching 2 inches, with adequate but modest instability supported by convergence. Georgia, by contrast, is moisture-starved and capped by the ridge, leading to a stable, dry regime. Forcing and triggers. In Florida, coastal convergence, sea breeze interactions, and a weak trough provide effective lifting. In Georgia, forcing is minimal. No shortwave or boundary to trigger storms. Temporal persistence. The Florida regime is quasi-steady, with repeated rounds of showers sustained by the ongoing onshore flow. Georgia's pattern is more stagnant and dry. Flight/hydrology/marine implications. Florida faces aviation disruptions, flood risk and dangerous marine conditions. Georgia mostly has benign conditions, albeit with a possible fire weather caveat,